One, and we begin live from my mother's basement with yours truly, comedian Mike Marino. Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope you're in a great mood. Hope you're doing great. I hope your week was fantastic. I want to apologize that I haven't done my live from my mother's basement in the last couple of weeks because I was enjoying the high seas, as you know. Once a month, I like to get on these cruise ships because not only can you entertain, not only do you see between 5,000 and 6,000 people by the end of the work week, but you're on a cruise ship. These ships are gigantic. They take you anywhere in the world where there's a water connection, and you enjoy yourself and you eat. That's the biggest problem. I eat way too much, but I'm having a good time. So I'm just reading a little bit. All right. Good evening, Suzanne Rawls. Thank you so much for writing in. This last ship that I was on is called the Quantum of the Seas. It seats, or it can have up to 6,000 passengers and 1,000 crew. It's unbelievable. And you're like in a high class style restaurants, nightclubs, comedy theaters, and then fun for kids. There's Toyland, there's bumper cars, all while you go to Alaska. So you figure I flew from New Jersey, I landed in Seattle, stayed a night in a hotel in Seattle. I love doing that. Go down to the restaurant, eat with a bunch of strangers, which is cool. And then from there, you get on a ship, and that ship goes from the port of, no, it goes from Seattle, yeah, the port of Seattle to, where did I go? Alaska. Ketchikan, Alaska, Sitka, Alaska, Juneau, the icy straits, and you see the most incredible scenery that you could ever ask for. And you see the old world ways of Alaska, the final frontier. It's cold, the water's crystal clear, and you learn about the Iditarod, which is the the dogs that pull the sleds, Eskimos, the Native American Indians, whales, hatchet show, lumberjack show, and of course, salmon everywhere, bears, moose, things that you're not going to see in New Jersey. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I promised myself that I wasn't going to eat as much as I did. But when you go into a restaurant that hands you a delicious steak and they says no charge, you ask for another one. And then before you know it, you're not leaving. You're just eating the whole time, and it is great. So I might have gained a couple of pounds. But I'm very happy that I get to do that because before I went to Alaska, I was on this other ship they call the Oasis of the Seas, and that went to the Caribbean. And out in the Caribbean, of course, it's hot out, and it's a whole different ball game. So I'm really happy to be back. I'm glad I'm here enjoying this with you guys. Somebody just sent me a chime. I hope that's a good thing. Let's see who's going to be right now. I'm going to take in some questions. I hope you guys are doing great, and we could chat a little bit. I don't have a guest on the show tonight because, the COVID thing is still real, ladies and gentlemen. There goes another little thing. The COVID thing is still real, and I'll tell you what. Oh wow! Somebody applauded and gave me 500 cents. Oh, thank you so much. Who did that? Thank you, folks. You can actually send me some dollars, and I really appreciate that. This is something that my producer Tatiana put together. So if you have some time and you're here on the Facebook Live, go to Facebook Live. Mike Marino, Facebook Live, and you can actually send me a couple of dollars and some hearts and some thumbs up and stuff like that. I really appreciate that. So folks who are watching me here on Instagram, go to my live page here, my fan page. Facebook.com/Mike Marino Live and watch what's going on. Somebody just reminded me to shout out, it's Italian American Month. It is. Italian American Heritage Month is October. And what's coming up in a week? October 11 is Columbus Day. And I will be at the Columbus Day parade this year. So make sure you guys tune in. Everything is at mikemarino.net. I've been telling everybody for a long time, and I really appreciate when you do this. You could subscribe to my newsletter. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel, which has a lot of funny videos. I think they're funny. And going and growing and touring. So that's it with the ships. I had a lot of fun out there. I love going to Canada. I went to Vancouver. We went to British Columbia. If everything goes right, Toronto, if you're watching. Thank you. Somebody just sent me a couple of dollars. I appreciate that. When we get out to Canada, it's going to be Montreal and Toronto the first weekend of December. Now, I'm not extremely sure where I'm going to be performing, but that's where they said the shows are going to be. So hang in there, Toronto. It's going to be badass. I know a lot of people know that I can't stop drinking Coca-Cola. I really like it. This is not a plug for Coca-Cola. I know it's not good for me because it makes me get heavy and bloated, but I like it. It gives me that kick. Right now, I'm not going to have it. I'm going to drink just regular water. Whatever happened to drinking water from a hose? Anyway, I see a lot of people are writing right now on Instagram, and I appreciate that. And I am going to acknowledge everybody, as I always do, especially when I do the morning walk with Mike every morning at around 8 o'clock here in California, which I try to do around the same time all the time, every morning, so I can hang around with you. All right? So here's what's going on in my world, and then I can't wait to see you in Toronto. Thank you so much, Iannucci, Tony, and thank you so much also my Stugats, because I know you guys are from Canada. Love people from Canada. My closest cousins are in Toronto, the Berardo family, which is my mother's side of the family. Remind me to get into that. I'm looking on my table right now at some stuff. I can't stop staring at it. So speaking of Canada, while we're here on this, and there's Joe Camariri. Guys, I can't tell you how great we're going to talk about this. Joe Camariri, he came up with this way for you guys to have Zeppelis at your house, and I brought them with me to California. I brought them with me on the cruise ship. I have them in my house in New Jersey. Making them is fun. It's easy. It's sensational. They taste great. Just go to CamaririsZeppeliMix.com. Now, he's supposed to be sponsoring a big show that I'm doing next Saturday night, October 15th. But it got canceled. Joe, if you're watching, all the shows in Florida got canceled because of the storm that hit Florida. So, of course, let's not think, oh my God, I can't believe I can't go to work. I can't believe there's not going to be a show. Screw that noise. I could always go there and do a show again some other time. We need to be praying for the people in that area that got hit so hard. I mean, I remember I was around for Superstorm Sandy in New Jersey. And the peninsula out on the Jersey Shore down by Bayhead, when it got hit, the storm took it from one side and the storm took it from another side, taking that peninsula and that island away. So you can't get in and you can't get out. And for those people who didn't run, they were stuck. And there's nowhere to go. I mean, you actually would have to swim. And it could be almost a mile of water. And the longer it stays, the worse it gets because it starts to sink the houses and they're never coming back. So, next week on October 12, I was supposed to fly into Sarasota, which got hit pretty hard too. And then I was going to do some shows at what we call and love Vasani's Comedy Theater in Palm Harbor. It's also Punta Gorda, the Punta Gorda area. But everything got canceled. So Joe Camariri of Zapala Mix, we are going to move your sponsorship to some other time. And don't worry, we're definitely going to do it. And we're going to have some fun. I can't believe I just did that. When I went to Canada, I bought taffy. I shouldn't have put it in my mouth now. I'm going to look like a gavone. But I love taffy, and I got the assorted root beer, mint, blueberry, cherry, mixed flavors. They're unbelievable. So last night, and I'm going to share this with you, I'm bearing it down, I chipped my tooth. I can't believe I'm laughing. I got a big show tonight. I'm in my tuxedo. As soon as we're done with this, I'm leaving to go to the club. Look at my tooth. This tooth has been chipped since I'm about 12. It's got bonding on it. I did go to Tim Hortons. Somebody just wrote in and said Tim Hortons. I did go to Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is the best. It is. I like to sit in the airport in Vancouver. There's a spot in there. You go to Tim Hortons, you get in line, you get your food, and you sit in this little area, and you feel like a Canadian. Tim Hortons is the best. So I was in Canada. I got this. I got this mousse candy chocolate head. I made some videos with my cousin Michelle, who eats this mousse and the taffy in some very funny scenes. You're going to love this shit. And not only that, I always do this. And I always say I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to give it to some family members, but I don't because I end up eating this myself. Canadian maple cream cookies. Get the fuck out of here. Folks, these are so damn good. You guys know that I like to smoke marijuana every once in a while. This is not what you want to have in your presence when you get high because you will eat them all. Okay, look. Canadian cream, shaped like maple leaves. Oh, this is sick. Sick. You dip this in your coffee. That's it. It's the best. I don't have coffee right now. But I had to show you guys my favorite thing. More money. Thank you. Your audience sent 500 stars in 5 minutes to activate Stars Party. Thank you, Stars Party. Whoever's doing that, thank you. Go to Facebook, Mike Marino Live, and hit that Stars Party, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. A Canadian maple leaf cookie and a Coca-Cola. I'm going to be climbing the walls tonight. Tonight I have a very big show. It's very important to me that I do this show. One of the most famous jazz and blues clubs. Look this up on the internet. It's called the Catalina Club. The Catalina Jazz and Blues Club on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. Tonight at 8 o'clock, I will be the opening act for a very dear friend of mine. He's a legend in the baseball arena, played for the leagues years and years ago. And tonight he's going to be singing. He does a tribute to Sam Cooke. His name is Mike Boyd. I wish he was here right now to be on the show, but I'm sure he's at the club right now in front of the orchestra practicing. Let me do this. Holy kids. So tonight, we're going to take the stage and do a nice big fundraiser for the unfortunate families of Ukraine. That's tonight at 8 o'clock at the world-famous Catalina Club. There's also another famous jazz and blues club that I'm lucky enough to be part of every once in a while. It's called Vibratos, and I was the opening act for Dina Martin's daughter, Dina, and I was the opening act for one of my favorite guys in the whole world, Robert Davi. So I hope to go back there again. I actually found a picture of me sitting in a booth at the Catalina Club years ago, waiting to go back on stage as I was doing a show with Joey Gian. Joey Gian was one of the stars of Knots Landing. He was one of the stars of Hooperman, and he was one of the stars on Star Search. He was one of the stars on 90210. So he would do a show there, and I was the opening act. Look at that. Here it is for Instagram. Cool, huh? Look how young I was. Man. Isn't that cool? That's me, sitting at a booth at the world famous Catalina Club, and I'm going to sit in this booth again tonight while I watch my friend entertain. How cool is that? Bada bash. Bada 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 bash. I wonder if I look a lot different. I guess I do, right? I was probably in my 30s, something like that. But anyway, so that's where I'm going to be tonight. See, now I'm burping because of because it's not my fault, all right? A lot of great things going on in my world. Not only tonight do I have the lucky honor and the prestigious privilege of being on stage with Mike Boyd at the legendary Catalina Club, but this coming Friday night, I'm actually going to be returning to one of the hottest comedy shows I've ever done. It's in Rockford, Illinois. That's Chicago. This Friday night, the place is called Francesco's Italian Restaurant in Rockford. Now, you would think it's just an Italian restaurant. Where would I perform? They have a room that seats over 350 people. It is absolutely unbelievable. And the last time I was there, which was the first time that I was there, it was packed. And the people just went nuts because they had never seen me in person before. And I'm so honored that that happened, that they're having me back, and we're going to make some great money. We're going to make some great friends. We're going to have a lot of fun. So if you're in Chicago and you want to come down to the show, that would be really, really great. Unfortunately, Vasani's has been canceled. So I will not be at Fasani's Comedy Theater on October 12th through October 15th. That's not going to happen. However, I can make this announcement because it's been confirmed. On Columbus Day, on one of the biggest marquees in Times Square, there will be, I guess, a marquee the size of two 18-wheeler trucks with my face and my body, and it's going to say, "Make America Italian Again. Marino, 2024, the race has begun." Comedy tour tickets on sale at mikemarino.net. So that's definitely happening. I'm going to videotape it. I'm going to put it on the internet. We're going to laugh. We're going to have some fun. And it all happened because of Anna Dre from Upcycled Creations, who took a pair of my jeans and upcycled them. She put some really cool stuff on the jeans, and I liked it. Then she made me a hat, and I liked it. So I wore it on stage. Well, one day she said to me, "Would you like a jeans jacket?" And I said, "Of course, how much is it?" And she came up with this. Look at that. How great is this? I love a jean jacket. Remind you from the old days. It says Anna Dre from Upcycled Creations _27. You can find her on Instagram. But isn't this cool? I would wear it on stage tonight, but you have to wear slacks and a jacket where we're performing tonight. But I really, really like it. And she made it. And you can get one too. Some of your own stuff, whatever you like, and you can get it at Anna Dre Upcycle _Creations on Instagram. Check her out. She got some really, really cool stuff. So I'm happy about that. I wanted to do another shout out to a new friend of mine who came on my show a couple of months ago. We had a lot of fun on the show. It was very educational. His name is Sean Kanan. Sean Kanan is a great actor. He broke out into the industry when he starred in The Karate Kid Part 3. And now he's on a soap opera, and he's a great, great guy. Well, he wrote a book, and this is the book right here in my hand. It's called Way of the Cobra. Somebody just said, feel free to give him a call anytime. All right. The Way of the Cobra is a great book. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because it actually helped me help people. There is something within, I don't know, the human brain, heart, history, whatever it is, that makes you feel great knowing you did something for somebody else. And I don't know what that is. I always thought the greatest drug for me is performing. But then again, performing's making people happy, or at least most people happy. So I enjoy that, and I get high. I get high as a kite. I don't have to do a drug. So I'm on stage, I'm entertained, and I'm feeling good. I'm happy as hell. That is my drug, and I don't ever want to come down. That's why a lot of entertainers go down a dark road, because when they come down, it's not as good as it was when they were up. This book captures that. So I found myself reading the book. I thought it was fantastic. And then something would happen to me. Maybe I was unhappy for something. Maybe somebody didn't return my phone call. Something didn't work out. So I went to the book. And it goes from, a white belt, orange belt, blue belt, green belt, black belt. And in those episodes, it can help you with that specific problem that you might be going through that day. All right? So check out what happens. Somebody calls me up and says, and I can't say the whole thing until we do the actual show. Someone called me and said, would you consider entertaining at a wedding? And I said, sure, if I'm in the area, I'll come to the wedding. What do you want me to do? He said, well, my husband's a really big fan of yours, and if you show up at the wedding, I'm going to look like a genius. And I says, where's it going to be? And she said, well, it's going to be in New Jersey. And the date just happened to be in the afternoon of a show where I'm going to be doing later on that night. So I said, sure, I could do an afternoon show. And she said, how much? And I says, well, what do you got going on? She goes, well, we kind of have to get married in a little bit of a hurry. See, he has a little bit of a medical problem, and I want to put him on my health insurance. You know what that means, don't you? Got to help out. So I said, don't you worry about anything. I'm going to show up. Then I started calling in my favors. So guess what's going to happen? She's going to get 2 comedians free of charge. She's going to get cakes, candies, cookies free of charge. I'm talking $800 worth of cake I got coming. My Zeppeli Mix guy is donating some bags, and then they're all going to get complimentary tickets to see me at Catch a Rising Star that night in Princeton, New Jersey. She called, couldn't stop crying, can't believe it. I told her, don't blow the surprise, and let's have some fun. We all win. Piece of cake, right? Now, if I could negotiate something like that, by just making people happy, you fix that problem, doesn't cost anybody anything, I should run the United States. You get it? Because something so small you make so big. Now, the problems in the world are gigantic, but why don't we make them small? You could do it. There's always a happy medium, and you know yourself, there's always some people who don't want to take the high road at all. In fact, they're assholes, let's be honest. But that's them. You can omit them, as long as they're not the person who has the key to the gate. Because if you have the key to the gate, you can keep people like that on the side and then go forward and do what's right for what's going on in the world today. That's the way I see it. Oh, here comes a really nice little letter. And this is coming from, let me see if I can't read this. There it is. Patrick Aiden Conto English. I hope I'm saying this right. For everybody who's listening to me right now on iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Italian American Radio, This little letter that I'm reading is coming in from a guy named Patrick, and I'm reading it to everybody live because he's writing in on Facebook Live. And thank you so much, everybody, for giving me these stars. Watch this. Mike, I'm going to tell our friends in Chicago, like Jose Falpo and Joni Pilato, that you are performing at Francesco's in Rockford. Patrick, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And Joe, I really don't think so. Oh, here's a nice compliment from Patrick again about Robert Davi. Robert Davi goes from strength to strength. They are talking about Robert Davi here in England because he made a film about pedophile Prince Andrew with Lawrence Fox in the lead. Wow. Robert Davi's been around for quite some time. He is an unbelievable entertainer, from acting to singing to directing and writing and creating. I like to say we're good friends. We've done a lot of shows together, and he introduced me to some people in the industry that I might never have met if it wasn't for him. He's the guy who had me open for him a long time ago at the Venetian in Las Vegas in front of a 22-piece orchestra. He had me open for him at the fairgrounds in Long Island, New York, in front of, I think it was 12,000 people. He plays my father-in-law in a movie called Pizza and Wine. And, of course, the many different performances we did at Vibrato in Beverly Hills, which is just like a great experience. I can't tell you guys enough how wonderful it is to perform at a jazz and blues club. I mean, I don't sing. I really can't play the drums like I did when I was younger. But to be on stage with people like this is just the best. Whoever just sent me some stars and some money, that's really, really nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So after this week and next week, I am going to be doing some fundraisers, okay? So if you're going to be in the state of New Jersey, folks, on October 19, I'm doing a fundraiser. This is on my website at mikemarino.net. This is for the prevention of teenage suicide. Now, you thinking, what would a comedian be doing at a place like that? Well, it's really not that easy, but somebody has to do it. So what happens is we're going to start that show with my brother Paul. The Paul Marino Band will be performing, and then there'll be some speeches, and they're going to be tear-jerking speeches from parents who had children who committed suicide. Once that's all done, hopefully they'll have some dinner, and then I'll see about getting on stage and pulling some people into the laughter category and making them forget about those troubles just for a little while, all raising $150 a person to come to the show. They got some great sponsors. If you guys want to come, please go to mikemarino.net, get yourself some tickets. That's October 19. And yes, I do want to perform all around the country. So thank you so much, everybody who's writing in with the areas of where they live that would like me to come. I'm coming around the world like Elvis. Here I come. October 20, I'm doing another fundraiser. You know, not everybody in the military gets what they deserve. Some people in the military, they need the guide dogs. They used to be called guide dogs. Now they call them service dogs. There could even be a big difference between a service dog and a guide dog. I'm not 100% sure, but those dogs need to be trained and they need to be given to the veterans. And we do a fundraiser. So this is going to be my fourth time doing a fundraiser for this company. This is for Veteran Affairs. That's going to be done in New Jersey on October 20th. We're going to raise some money so that these dogs find themselves the right home for the people who need that. Thank you, the men and women of the armed forces. Right now, Joe Camariri from my sponsor from Zeppelin Mix is telling everybody that he's going to be giving a 10% off for everybody who's watching the show right now, or anybody who actually mentions Mike Marino Live. That is the code, and you get yourself 10% off, so you can go ahead and order. Boom, one more time. Just check that out if you would. Check that out if you would. All right, we're going to be talking about them a lot. Unfortunately, Joe, I'm so sorry I'm not going to get to see you in Florida next week, but we're going to make it up to you. We're going to do something great. And don't forget, folks, I'll say it again, November 26th, 600-seat theater, the NJ Pack Performing Arts Center in Newark, New Jersey. This is going to be my fifth appearance there. It's so much fun. Hopefully, we'll add a show. We're going to have a nice holiday theme. Michelle will be there. Uncle Tommy will be there. Mooney, I don't know if we can get him out of the car. But they're all going to be there, and a lot of new material. Going to be working out some of the new stuff, taking out the kinks. So if you want to come down there, and hopefully on that night you'll get to meet Joe Camariri of Camariri's Zeppela Mix, ZeppelaMix.com. All right, let's see if somebody else wants. Oh, then I wanted to talk about October 21 and 22. Now, that's one of my favorite comedy clubs. This is all in New Jersey because I'm going home to see my family. I was supposed to be in Florida, but since that can't happen, might as well stay in New Jersey for a little while. It's going to be fall. Kids are getting ready to get their costumes for Easter. I'm sorry, not Easter, but Halloween. This is Italian American month, but it's also spooky Halloween month. So go out there and get ready to get your costumes and have some fun. So October 21 and 22, I will be at the world famous Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, New Jersey. The following week, I do have a show, but it's sold out in one day. Yeah, that's in, more money. Thank you so much. That's Tom's River, New Jersey. And then the very last day of the month of October, before Halloween, I'm getting on a cruise ship to another cruise ship, to another cruise ship. 3 back-to-back ships, home for the holidays, NJ Pack on the 26th, more home for the holidays, and then in 2023, we're going to start a big worldwide comedy tour. All right, so let me take some questions if anybody wants to ask me anything. Then I'm going to have some more of these cookies. Then I'm going to go over to the Catalina Club and make myself happy by making other people happy. All right, question up. What do you got? Anybody? Oh, thank you so much, Mike Marino. You're always the nicest guy. There's a guy here on Facebook Live. He's always sending me some stars and some monies, I guess. Oh, watch this. He asked this question: when will you have Francisco on the program? Francisco, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very funny human being. We've done some shows together, and I can't wait to have her on the show again. She's absolutely a phenomenon. Anthony Ponte is asking me the question, when am I going to play the Boca Black Box? I don't know if I'm going to be at the Boca Black Box, but on February 3rd, Anthony, I will be at the Raz Room in Meisner Park, Florida, which is right around the same area. My Stugats just said, I'm going to give you a big hug when you get to Toronto. And you know what? I'm going to give you a hug back. I love that you write to me every morning. I love that you follow me. You're a great guy, and there's nothing wrong with Italians hugging the shit out of each other. Just don't kiss each other a little too much. Here's a big shout out to a group of guys that I think are the funniest comedians on the circuit today. The Uncle Louie Variety Show. We're talking about Lou Greco, and we're talking about the other guy. I don't know his name. Carlo Russo, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are watching. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I want you to come back to my house and destroy my basement. One of the funniest comedy teams working the circuit. Folks, you really got to go look at the Uncle Louie Variety Show. They did my podcast. We couldn't stop laughing. We went on tour backstage. You can't stop laughing. It's so stupid. When you're with a bunch of comedians that love each other, respect each other, and honor each other's work, it's just too stupid to stop. You can't stop laughing, you know? There's no animosity. There's no anger towards each other. It's just fun. So we were in the basement the night after the show eating breakfast, and I swear, I don't know, we just couldn't stop laughing. So I'm going to see if I can't get those videos up. I haven't done a lot of reels. I'm starting to work on that right now. Tatiana Blue Shell, my producer, she's working on a lot of that stuff. I'm an old school guy. I like to videotape quality. Sometimes quality just isn't that funny anymore. So yeah, well, you got a couple of guys watching right now who are saying how funny it was that we were doing crazy shit in the basement. So I really appreciate that, especially my two guys. They are two big bacalas. I'm glad you all know the same people that I'm talking about because eventually stars of comedy get together and make great, great performances. Hey, you know what? I'm just thinking. I'm actually going to be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood tomorrow night. I didn't even know I was going to get any spots because I'm only in town for 48 hours. But tonight is the Catalina Club. Tomorrow night at 9:30, I will be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, which is my home club here in Hollywood. That's where I cut my teeth, the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store. Look it up on the internet. All right, so we got some more stuff over here. You are a legend, brother. The Uncle Louie Variety Show just called me a legend. And you know what's really funny? I hope you're still watching. For some reason or other, in the last 5 days, people kept calling me stand-up royalty, and I like it. I really do. I like when people say nice things like that. And then there was some people like our mutual friend. I guess I won't mention his name. He was reaching out for some help because he was going through some depression. Folks, if you're going through depression, call somebody. Call somebody. You want to talk to me? I'll talk to you. I have a whole thing on the internet called Hey Marino. Hey Marino. It doesn't have to be funny. You got a question? I'll answer the question. You have a problem? I will get back to you. I can't solve people's problems. I don't really know about, different kinds of crazy things in the world. I know that if you don't feel good, if things aren't going great in your life, guess what? You're not alone. And sometimes when you know that you're not alone, you'll be like, geez, I thought it was just me. It's not. There's a lot of people that are going through shit. I can't mention the name, but my buddy called me and he goes, I lost this and I lost that and I lost this and I lost that. I'm losing and I don't know what to do. And call me whenever you want. And he said, I didn't think you'd take my phone call. You guys, meaning like who I might think that I am because I'm a performer. No, we're all human beings. Anybody who thinks they're a big star that doesn't have a moment to spend it with you is an asshole. It's not a star. They're either assholes or they're this stupid influencing bullshit that causes you to do something stupid on the internet. That's what that is. So if you want to talk to somebody, you could talk to me. I'm right here, Mike Marino Live. Find me. All right, this one here is from Philip Falcone, who has one of the greatest Italian-American organizations in Seaside, New Jersey. I know exactly who you are, Phil. Let's get ready to pack NJ Pack when I get back to New Jersey. Me and Frida are coming to the basement. I'll cook for you. Avango! All right. Hey, you're always welcome in my basement. Wait till you see my new bricks in my yard. I got the pavers. All right. So who else is here? Ruby Finelli, miss you. Glad you're home. See you soon. Thank you, Ruby. It was nice to hear from you, Ruby Finelli. Joyce, hello. It's nice to hear from you. We need to hang out more often. Yeah. Edward Raguso. Holy smokes. Especially Real Brothers. Thank you, Ed. It's nice to see you. Edward Raguso, and I'm going to say this right here on the live show, was one of the first people to sponsor my show. I met you through Matt Florio in Florida, who's a director-producer, doing great stuff out there. And I was in one of his movies. I forgot what it was called, but I thank him all the time. It was a great project. I was so happy to be part of it. Damn, what was that called? I don't know. I was very happy. The Black Box doesn't have you on the calendar yet. Anthony, not the Boca Black Box. The Raz Room in Meisner Park, February 3rd. Okay. All right. There you go. Mike Marino sent me 50 cents. You guys are cool. 200 cents. Thank you, Jim. Ruby Finelli, 200 cents. I love him. Robert Davi's the best. He is. Remember when we did the Feast of San Gennaro in Los Angeles and he and I did a show together? Karen, it's nice to see you. Hello. Camariris. No, they're not watching. I wouldn't have blown that surprise. I'm answering some questions. And there's Linda D'Onofrio. We're going to see her tonight. Put the cover over the Columbus statue. All right, there's some great, great, great questions here. When are you coming to Canada? And that question comes from Kareth Parry. If everything goes right, Kareth, I will be in Canada, Toronto, on or around December 3rd. We were negotiating today. Hopefully those people will get back to me very soon because I want to go. So Edward, you remember, right? I was right on the money. Matt Florio is kicking ass. He's a legendary director, a great writer, and a great producer. And there is Kira Montana, whose mother and father have a very great Italian restaurant and deli here in Lakewood, California. It's called Foggia. Foggia Italian Market and Deli in Lakewood, California. Robert and Linda Quattro. Folks, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I remember everything and everybody, and I'm kind and caring as much as I can to everybody, so I do follow up. If you need to call me, you want to talk to me, I will get involved and talk to you. There's my cousin Lucille Herman Geller. I'm so sorry I missed the wedding. I really wish I could have been there. Please send my love to everybody. I'm going to make it up to everybody in my family because I'm having Thanksgiving at my house this year. I hope that happens. Where are you having your holidays? Do you remember when it was never a question? You knew where the holidays were going to be. You knew that holiday was going to be at your mother's house. And if it wasn't at your mother's house, it was at your mother's sister's house. Every Thanksgiving in my house, the night before Thanksgiving, when the world was out partying, my mother and my Aunt Mary were in the basement, and they spoke in Italian. Nobody understood them. It was in Italian. Anthony, it's going to be on my website. I'll make sure I get you front row tickets. That's Anthony Ponte. I love this guy. We got to do a show together. I should be coming to Long Island. Thank you so much for the 500 stars. I appreciate it, everybody. Go to Mike Marino Live on Facebook and send me a couple of pennies. This is hilarious. I'm getting pennies. Every Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving, my mother and Aunt Mary, who was married to my Uncle Tommy, and that's where I came up with the character Uncle Tommy. You sons of bitches don't know nothing. When your Uncle Tommy was a little kid, we had nothing, and we was happy all the time. You bunch of assholes today ain't got a bunch of spoiled sons of bitches. You stoops. And so Aunt Mary and my mother would dice, you name it, whatever was going on, that what they called today charcuterie board, we called it on the bust. And I remember when they would make the celery. Chop the celery, it went in a salad. Chop the celery, it went in a plate. Fenoik, I guess it's called fennel. I only knew Italian slang words for the food. So it was fenoik, and you dipped it in some kind of oil with pepper. I think it was like a palate cleaner, or maybe it made you feel better. The artichoke hearts that come in a jar that are marinated. The red peppers. The multiple amounts of different cheeses. Sharp cheese, basket cheese, mortadella. No, we had mortadella, but not that much. Sopressata. But anyway, my mother and Aunt Mary would just sit in the basement and yap, 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 yap in Italian. So if your parents and your parents' brothers and sisters are all from Italy, and they really do speak Italian the way they do, for some of you people out there who say that I'm really not, or that I'm very American, or that I'm watered down, you feel like going, how could that possibly be? I'm telling you the truth, they were there. So the other day, some guy wrote from Canada and said, I can't stand listening to me, Mike Marino, because he hates my accent. He said it's a phony Italian accent. Folks, I never said I had an Italian accent. I don't have an Italian accent. My accent's from New Jersey. I was born and raised there. I never even knew I had an accent till I went to a different state. So when people like that write to you, you feel like going, what part of the show did you watch? Now, did my mother have an accent from Italy? Not really. Did my Aunt Mary and her sisters and brothers? Yes. It was a lot thicker than my mother, but my mother was the youngest. So hers eventually dissipated. But did they talk like this? Oh, yes, they did. And my cousins who live in Toronto, oh my God. Yes, they did. And if they didn't know the words in English, they cracked you in the head for not speaking Italian. Anyway, so Thanksgiving will be at my house. Tommy Tellerino, Tarantino, you just wrote a lot. So let me see if I can't read that to everybody. Fanook, yes, dipped in olive oil with black pepper for digestion. See, I know what I'm talking about. Scott Cunis, it was nice talking to you today. Thank you so much. Mike Marino, I love you, buddy. Thank you so much. And Ace, Ed Raguso, I got a lot. My dad was born in Foggia. Yeah, Foggia is a town in Italy. And, of course, they named it after their hometown, which is where they're from. Let me see if I can't read this. Mike, these people are jealous. Blank blanks. You are unbelievable. Truly the best comedian out there. Don't even give this garbage a second thought. Your guy friends that truly love everything you do and have accessible to you every day. God bless you and thank you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Tommy. We're never going to make everybody happy, and that's why there's war. But we could try. Kill them with kindness. You can do it. Antonio Iannetta, it's nice to see you. John's Meat Market is also writing into the show, my favorite place to go and see. And guess what? I'll be there in a couple of weeks when I get back to my hometown of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. I had a lot of fun chatting with you guys tonight. Oh, I'll hang out just a little bit longer. Jad Beach, you bring back such good memories. Yes. Do you remember the Stella D'Oro-esque cookie? I remember sitting there with my Uncle Tommy, and he would go through like the entire box. It wasn't a box. It came in this crinkly foil, clear foil. And he would tell you stories. The most wonderful stories about how life was when he first came over. You know, when I first came over, the sons of bitches changed my name from Mastro Giovanni to Mastro. And then they're like, Tommy Mastro, come to the front. Tommy Mastro, come to the front. How am I going to come to the front? I didn't notice my name. And it was the best, man. He used to say the funniest things. That's what got me into stand-up. I used to actually impersonate my Uncle Tommy, and that's how I came up with the character Uncle Tommy. He was the best uncle, and he was married to my mother's sister, Mary. Mary had 2 kids, and this is where I was coming up with all this great material. Ain't that right, Red Mogul out there in Florida? I remember when we were younger, we used to go to the penny arcade, and Uncle Tommy had a roll of dimes. And he would take that roll of dime and give you a couple dimes, and he would go like this, that ain't no penny arcade, that's a bunch of shit. It's a dime, everything's a dime, and you kids are spoiled. Now here's $1 worth of dimes, go play skee ball and win your Uncle Tommy an electric shaver. That was living. Do you remember? And what did you do with that $1 of dimes? You didn't play skee ball. No, you went and bought a slice of pizza because I think a slice of pizza was 75 cents. It was the best. Claudia Miriglio. Claudia S. There's always code names, but she's a realtor. Well, hello, Claudia. How are you? Thanks for chiming in. That is so hilarious. You remember going to the penny arcade? There was rides, and then Uncle Tommy would go like this. I'm sorry, I was reading what somebody was saying. Uncle Tommy used to go like this all the time. Now, that your uncle is done having his dinner that was beautifully prepared by your mother, and you kids don't know how spoiled you are because your mother's the greatest woman in the whole world, you stupids. And now what does your uncle want to have? And he'd look at me and my two brothers. Tell your uncle, what do I want to have? Chocolate, you stoops, chocolate. I have to have a piece of chocolate. Now go in the cabinets and find out where your mother hides the chocolate, because she hides the chocolate so you just won't eat it because you get cavities, you stupid kids. So go in the closet there, get your chocolate for your Uncle Tommy so that I can eat the chocolate and go to the toilet. Because if I don't have chocolate after I eat, I sit in the toilet counting tiles because I'm constipated for 2.5 hours listening to your Aunt Mary that it's time to go home, you sons of bitches. And that was Uncle Tommy, and how could you not love that? I remember when we were kids, my Uncle Tommy had false teeth. And when he was done eating at the table, if something got stuck in the false teeth, he would take them out of his mouth at the dinner table. Scared the living shit out of the kids, because you're wondering, how did he take his teeth out of his head? And he would take a clack, 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 and then he'd put them back in. And he'd look at you, knowing he was scaring the shit out of you. And that made him laugh. So these are great stories of the way things used to be. I want to thank everybody for these wonderful things that you're saying on the internet right now. I appreciate it. I am now going to make sure I'm dressed up nice, and I'm going to get myself over to the world famous Catalina Jazz and Blues Club right here in Hollywood, California. If you're in the area, come on down. There's still some tickets left. Tomorrow night I'll be at the Laugh Factory on the Sunset Strip. If you guys want to go to the Laugh Factory tomorrow night, just inbox me. Tell me you want some tickets, and I will leave them at the door for you. If you want to stay in touch, you got a question, you're not feeling good, say, hey, Marino, help me out. Talk to me. Don't forget, all you have to do is make sure I see it. Please, my brother, hold on a minute. Jad Beach, please, my brother-in-law took my youngest daughter to the track when he was 3. Yes. Oh, my God, I can't believe you said that. My uncle used to take us to the track, and we didn't even know what we were doing. We were children, 3 years old, and he was like this, shut up and pick me a winner. You better bring me good luck or I'll kick the shit out of you. So everything is at mikemarino.net. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, hanging out. I do this show every Tuesday night if I'm not on a ship in the middle of nowhere. I want to thank my producer, Tatiana Bluchel. Guys, send her an email. Tell her you're enjoying the show. Sometimes the people behind the scenes, it's a thankless job. Nobody sees them. Nobody knows where they are. Thank them. All you have to do is write to Mike Marino Entertainment at gmail.com and say, Tatiana, please keep the show going. We love what you and Mike are doing. She would appreciate that. If you think you'd make a great guest on my show, I would like to make that happen with you. Write to the same person, Tatiana Bluchel. Mike Marino Entertainment at gmail.com. Let her know that you'd like to be on the show. Would you like to sponsor a show? Would you like to sponsor a comedy tour? Do you want me to talk about you on the show? Go to Mike Marino Live at gmail.com. Tell me what's going on. We'll make something happen. Want me to eat your cookies on the show? I could do it. I'll get Uncle Tommy to do it, you sons of bitches. And if you want to be a fan, you want to send me a picture of us together, or you want to know when to come to a show, or you want to be part of the newsletter that comes out every week, Mike Marino Fans at gmail.com. All right, everybody, I got to get going. Remember, let's make America Italian again. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every one of my broadcasts? By always saying the same thing. Don't take no shit from nobody. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the morning walk. Hope I see you at a live show. And don't forget, log on iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Italian American Radio. Go to your favorite podcast app, listen to the show. Log on to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Patreon. You want to talk to me? I'll talk to you right back. All right, good night, everybody. Have a great, great night. All right, Instagram. Hey, folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.